about 20,000 women and children a year through our shelters. We run 31 shelters in urban centers and in rural centers like Sudbury, Brandon, Prince Albert, Lethbridge, Peterborough, Saskatoon. This is one of the big myths that we've been trying to push, that amongst women service providers, amongst the VAW movement, there is no rural-urban divide. YWCA Canada across the country is on this issue, as are all of the National Shelter and Transition House Association, which is newly formed, and all of the provincial and territorial associations. They are all in support of the registry. They are all against C391. So we come into the issue and we offer a perspective of service providers working for women's safety. And these are service providers, not myself. As you know, I'm research and advocacy, but they see the effects of violence on women and children day in and day out. And gun control is a women's safety issue. That's where we enter. I can't tell you how many times I've said that line, written that line, sent it out in emails, tried to push it through. Another one that was very compelling was in homes where violence occurs, if guns are present, they become part of the abusive use of power control. Most domestic homicides are not random acts of violence, and most guns used to commit homicide are not smuggled or illegally owned. In fact, in most cases, they are owned by legitimate gun owners. Does the gun lobby not realize that domestic abuse and domestic homicide are criminal acts? The men who commit these crimes are usually perceived by their friends and neighbors as law-abiding, responsible people, and many of them own guns legally. But when a man abuses his spouse, he commits a crime, whether he is prosecuted or not. Bill C-68 won't eliminate violence against women, but it will help save lives. When you look at the numbers, the costs, it's kind of a small piece. Violence against women costs this country over $4 billion a year in cost studies that have been done. It's a figure that Helena Georgis, as Minister of State for Status of Women, said at a luncheon that I was at in February of this year. Over $4 billion a year, and we are talking about $4 million. In terms of money and cost for me, somebody new on the file, just trying to get up to speed, I find it, just take that one number, $4.1 million. It was in the RCMP, the Canadian Firearms Report, that came out November 6th last year, because the government held it up for 2 days until after the vote. But it's just one number, consistently argue it, don't want to talk about any other numbers. This is what the RCMP says it costs, and these are the people who run the registry. So